It all started on a quiet Tuesday morning when I heard the unmistakable sound of frustration echoing through our apartment hallway. Yep, it was my neighbor. Let's call her Karen. Now, before you jump to conclusions, this isn't one of Karen's stories. She's not exactly the easiest person to deal with, but she's not a monster either. Just a little intense about rules, especially when they don't favor her. That day, she was fuming over a bright orange parking ticket slapped on her windshield. She was going off, blaming the city, the sign, even the weather. Classic Karen moment. But here's the twist. I actually felt kinda bad for her. Turns out, the situation wasn't as black and white as it seemed. There were some confusing signs, and honestly, even I wasn't sure the ticket was totally fair. So, against all logic, and definitely against my better judgment, I decided to help her appeal it. Yep, me, the neighbor she barely says hi to, suddenly wrapped up in a mission to challenge city parking enforcement. What happened next caught me completely off guard. From hidden street signs to a phone call that changed everything, this simple favor turned into something way bigger than I expected, and maybe even more than I could handle. So, here I am, standing outside with Karen, holding her crumpled parking ticket like it's a map to buried treasure. She's pacing in flip-flops, ranting about how she parks there every week and never gets cited. They're targeting me, she says. They know my car. I try to stay calm, but I'm already questioning my life choices. Why did I open my mouth? But hey, something about the whole thing just didn't sit right. I took a closer look at the sign. It was half covered by a low-hanging tree branch, and honestly, the wording was super confusing. It said no parking from 7 to 9, but didn't say which days, just vibes. I asked her if she had taken any photos. Of course, she hadn't. So now I'm crouching in the bushes, trying to get a decent shot of this almost hidden sign while she's standing lookout. Anyone walking by probably thought we were up to something shady, but the more I looked into it, the stranger it all got. When we checked the city's parking database, there were multiple complaints logged in our area, all in the past week, and all issued by the same officer. Karen wasn't the only one. Something was off. And just when I thought we had a lead, she got a phone call that stopped everything. Karen's face changed the second she answered the phone. She went from annoyed to dead silent in like 2 seconds. She didn't say much, just nodded, muttered a few okays, and hung up. Then she just looked at me and said, "We need to go talk to someone." That was it. No explanation. Just grabbed her keys and told me to get in. Now, I've seen Karen get worked up about HOA meetings and recycling bins, but this felt different, like there was something she wasn't telling me. As we drove, she finally let a little bit slip. Turns out, her sister got a parking ticket the same day, a few blocks away, under the same weird circumstances. Unclear signage, same officer's badge number, and get this, she was parked legally according to the app. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just a simple misunderstanding. There might be a pattern here. We stopped at a nearby coffee shop, where she introduced me to her sister, Maya. She had already filed a formal complaint with the city. She even had screenshots, time-stamped photos, and the mobile parking receipt to back it up. The thing was, no one from the city responded, not even an automated reply. And now Karen was convinced someone was covering something up. I wasn't sure what to believe, but I was in way too deep to back out now. We sat in that coffee shop for almost an hour, piecing everything together like a crime board in a detective movie. Maya pulled out her laptop and showed us a map she'd made. Every ticket from the past 2 weeks, same general area, same officer, all during early morning hours. Karen, who usually gets fired up over literally everything, was strangely focused now. Like, laser-focused. It was kind of impressive. She leaned over the table and said, "This isn't random. Someone's running a little scam, and we're gonna catch them." I couldn't believe how far this had gone. 1 minute, I was just trying to be a decent neighbor. Now I was knee-deep in what was starting to feel like a mini investigation. We started gathering more evidence, taking photos of street signs, collecting statements from other neighbors who'd gotten hit with similar tickets, even digging through the city's public records. That's when we noticed something really strange. A handful of ticket numbers were out of sequence, almost like they were never supposed to be filed. Karen wanted to confront the officer directly, but I wasn't so sure that was a great idea. Still, she managed to find out his patrol schedule through a friend of a friend, and just like that, we were planning to catch him in the act. Early morning stakeout, coffee in hand, hearts racing, but nothing could have prepared us for what actually happened next. We got there before sunrise, parked a few spots down from the usual ticket zone. Karen was surprisingly quiet, sipping her coffee like it was her fuel for justice. We waited, watching every car that rolled by, every shadow that moved. Just when we were starting to think maybe it was a waste of time, a city vehicle pulled up, same one Maya had described. The officer stepped out, clipboard in hand, already writing a ticket. But here's the kicker. There was no car parked in the space he was ticketing. Karen's jaw dropped. "Are you seeing this?" she whispered. I grabbed my phone and started recording. It felt unreal, like we were watching some bizarre parking ghost story unfold in real time. But this wasn't just incompetence. It looked deliberate. The officer snapped a photo of the empty spot, jotted something down, and moved on like nothing happened. We were stunned, but before we could react, a black sedan pulled up behind us. No city logos, no uniform, just a guy in a suit who walked up to our car and knocked on the window. "You too looking for something?" he asked, calm but cold. Karen froze. This wasn't just about a parking ticket anymore. Something bigger was going on, and we had just stepped into it without knowing how far it actually went. The plan was simple: sit, wait, and film. We parked just outside the zone where the bulk of the questionable parking tickets were issued. The sun hadn't even come up yet, and the whole street had that eerie stillness like it was holding its breath. Karen had her phone propped up on the dash, already recording. Maya was texting updates to someone. I didn't ask who. Me? I was running on pure adrenaline and way too much gas station coffee. At exactly 6:47 a.m., the city vehicle rolled in. Same license plate as the one in Maya's photos. The officer stepped out, casually glanced around, and started writing a ticket for a car that wasn't even there. We all saw it. He snapped a photo of the empty space, wrote something on his clipboard, and moved to the next spot. Karen leaned forward, whispering, "He's not even trying to hide it." I hit record on my own phone just in case. But then, without warning, a black sedan turned the corner and pulled up behind us. It didn't look like a city car, no decals, tinted windows. A man in a suit stepped out, and before we could even pretend to be subtle, he walked straight to our car and tapped on the window. "You've seen enough," he said, not angry, just calm. Too calm. That's when I realized we weren't just watching something shady, we were in it. For a second, no one moved. The guy in the suit just stared, like he was deciding what to say next. But Karen, being Karen, rolled down the window and said, "You want to explain why your guy's writing fake parking tickets?" He didn't flinch, just calmly handed her a business card and said, "City Compliance Division. You should have brought this to our office instead of filming it on the street." Then he walked off, just like that. Turns out, we weren't the only ones onto something. Maya sent the footage and everything we'd gathered to a local journalist she knew. Within a week, the story blew up. A quiet investigation was already in motion, and our footage just helped speed it up. The officer, suspended. The ticket scam, traced back to a contractor abusing a quota system to boost revenue. Karen got her ticket dismissed, Maya's too, and a bunch of neighbors started coming forward with similar stories. It all felt surreal. I mean, who knew a random act of kindness toward my difficult neighbor would turn into uncovering a parking ticket scam? Looking back, the real win wasn't just beating the system. It was realizing that standing up, even in small ways, can actually make a difference.